So as millions of Americans wait for Congress to pass more stimulus relief, some Americans are actually being urged by the IRS to send back their stimulus payments. Everybody, this is your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. And we have a ton of news to cover around the fourth stimulus check, as well as an increase to your Social Security benefits. So you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video to never miss out on the very important stimulus check information. In addition, folks, I believe that President Biden should do a better job in sending out the fourth stimulus check.
You know that for the last many decades, the people on top, the very wealthiest people in this country, have become much richer. You now have the totally absurd situation of two people, two billionaires, owning more wealth than the bottom 40%, top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 92%. You got the 1% owning more wealth than the entire middle class. So in America, you got tens of millions of people whose problems have long been neglected by Congress and by presidents, while the very rich get richer. And what we are finally saying is we're not going to ignore those problems anymore. That now is the time for us to stand up for the working class of this country and tell the billionaires that they're going to have to start paying their fair share of taxes. What we are talking about is not simply a laundry list, a wish list.
And by the way, since we're talking about children and what they're breathing and all the rest, so much in this legislation that we needed to do anyway, but it falls under the category of climate as well, is replacing lead pipes throughout the country. Our children are drinking water that is laden with lead. They're in schools where lead paint is on the walls. It's an immorality, really, in my view, to have had that continued. And this was a real priority for us to make sure that we were improving the atmosphere for the children, whether it was the air they breathe writ large or the planet in which they live. Anything? Other questions? Yes?
Is there anything as far as a deadline for negotiations on the bill set roughly? And then are any of the climate-specific provisions on the table as far as negotiations?
Well, I'm not here to go into the negotiation, but we will have what we need in terms of the climate provisions. We'll bring the bill to the floor when we have the votes to bring the bill to the floor, but we're working constantly, 24/7, wherever we are in D.C. or with His Holiness or here today, to shorten the distance between where we need to be and where we are now. But I feel very confident, as the senator indicated, this will get done because it must get done. And we're having those negotiations. Our chairmen are sharpening their pencils as to how we come down with the number. I wish we could stay at the big number, but we can't. And the chairman of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Frank Pallone, and as you others from here on that committee are working very hard to make sure that whatever clarification is needed in terms of the language in the bill, apart from the money, the language in the bill, that is being done. But thank you for your question, and today is very important for us because you see the local intellectual resources that we have to meet the needs of people, and that's what this is about, to meet people's needs in a way that creates jobs, protects God's gift to us, the planet, reduces the national debt, and does so.
You must realize that there are still many Americans in need of a stimulus payment. And if you guys agree with me, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. Now, the number of Americans applying for first-time jobless claims reached its lowest level since March 2020. But even given the nationwide improvements in the pace of those newly out of work, some states have fared better than others in bringing down the levels of unemployment. The Labor Department's latest weekly report broke down the states with the highest and lowest insured unemployment rates. This metric captures the ratio of people claiming jobless benefits, divided by the overall size of the labor force. The results underscore the lingering unevenness in the unemployment picture across various parts of the country. Some states had insured unemployment rates well below the national average. At the end of September, South Dakota led the nation with an insured unemployment rate of just 0.2%, followed by Alabama with a rate of 0.3%. Idaho, Nebraska, North Dakota, and Utah followed thereafter, with each of these states posting insured unemployment rates of 0.4%. What are your thoughts on President Biden, everybody, and his work on the stimulus payments? So the IRS has also sent out millions of math error notices this year, the majority of which were related to stimulus payments amid the crisis. According to the Taxpayer Advocate Service, the IRS sent roughly 9 million alerts this year, and the notices have caused confusion for many taxpayers, who have been left unclear about what is owed. Many Americans were offered financial aid by way of the $1,400 checks that were sent out directly as part of the American Rescue Plan Act. Now, those with an individual income of under $75,000 or a joint income of $150,000 if married were eligible for the payments. Other funds were also made available, including the child tax credit, which was expanded by at least $1,000. Those who did not receive the $1,400 stimulus check could claim it on their taxes. As a recovery rebate credit. But the IRS had some people who claimed this credit should not have, and corrected millions of returns. The IRS notified people by letter if their tax return was being changed, but there were reportedly errors with some of the letters, some of which were sent out without important figures, and others without information about the right appeal. But there were reportedly errors with some of the letters, some of which were sent out with important figures and others without information about the right to appeal. The IRS then followed up with additional letters, explaining that it was possible to appeal the changes. Multiple payment options and limited tracking has led to a high number. There is a new proposal that would impact 100 million people, everybody. This is a new stimulus check. Part of President Biden's $3.5 trillion social spending plan is going to require all banks to report every deposit and withdrawal, totaling more than $600. There were mixed responses to the proposal. The proposal emerged as a way to recover some of the estimated $600 billion per year in unpaid taxes, largely owed by wealthy people and businesses, to help pay for President Biden's Build Back Better plan. House and Senate Democrats are currently debating the measure as part of the budget reconciliation bill. Members of the Biden administration are also facing difficult questions about why they want the information and how it will help them catch the biggest tax evaders.
Now look, my friends on the other side never had any problem providing $2 trillion in tax cuts for the very wealthy. Look, I don't think you shouldn't be able to make $1 million or $1 billion. I'm a capitalist, but guess what? I'm also listed for 36 years as the poorest man in the Congress. But I make big money now. I'm a president. But all kidding aside, I don't think we should punish anybody, but just pay your fair share. Just pay your fair share. You know, the issue that has been championed by Rosa for years, in the past, if you paid your taxes and had an income